RNZ News at 11. Good evening, I'm Todd Zana. A family who live in one of the closest villages to the Hongapai volcano is anxiously awaiting news after its eruption. The Sheen family live on Numuka Island but are in New Zealand for scheduled maintenance on their catamaran. Dave Sheen is fearing for the lives of the 500 Numuka villagers and has had no news from friends there. The last he saw was a video from social media which showed waves sucking out and then coming in, eroding on the island, and then it cut out. Dave Sheen says the highest point on the island is just 40 metres above sea level. Members of the Wesleyan Church of Tonga in Auckland's Mangere have been up all night praying. It's also the Church of Labour MP Anahela Nongata'a Suisuiki, who says it is distressing.
Getting together as a community to pray, we're all consoling each other and waiting for information on how the people are. For all of us who've got family in Tonga, we wish that everyone is in a safe, high and safe place, looking after each other.
Anahela says an overnight prayer vigil has been held online and radio with church members around the world praying for Tonga. The National Party leader has expressed his concern for the people of Tonga and backed the New Zealand government's offer of help. Christopher Luxon says his thoughts are with the island nation as it deals with damage and distress from the tsunami and eruption. He says his thoughts are also with New Zealanders waiting to hear about family, friends and loved ones in Tonga. Novak Djokovic has lost his last-ditch court bid to stay in Australia and is set to be deported. The Serbian tennis star has said he's extremely disappointed but will respect the ruling. The immigration minister said Australians had made great sacrifices for public health and the government would protect those gains. The BBC's Phil Mercer reports from Melbourne.
The government's assertion was that the presence of an unvaccinated Novak Djokovic in this country would somehow stir unvaccinated sentiment or anti-vax sentiment in this country. Now, Novak Djokovic's lawyers contended that that was irrational and should be struck out. The judges heard those arguments, they went off, and in a relatively short period of time they came back to decide unanimously that Novak Djokovic will be expelled from this country and there is no automatic right of appeal.
Auckland's vaccination sites are putting the final touches in place to immunise younger children against COVID-19 from tomorrow. Centres have been working to create a family-friendly experience as children aged between 5 and 11 years old become eligible for the shot. Some sites have added sofas, beanbags and games for children to play while they wait. Clinical Director Anthony Jordan says it's important to make sure children and their parents feel comfortable when they arrive over the next few weeks. He says the vaccination dose is a third of the amount that adults get and smaller needles are used. He says children will need to have a second dose 8 weeks later to get the strongest protection. And that's the news.